If you're watching this, you're not just any man, you're a Sigma male, a rare breed carved from the raw stone of independence and strength. This isn't a casual scroll, it's a confrontation with a truth that might rattle your core. You are not merely powerful, you are an angel, a force beyond the mundane. Buckle up, because we're about to rip through the noise and dive into what makes you exceptional. Today you'll see why accepting this isn't optional, it's essential. Welcome to the Sigma male community, where we don't peddle feel-good platitudes. We forge unyielding wisdom for men who reject the herd, embrace stoic resolve, and carve their own path. This is no ordinary channel. It's a crucible for the self-reliant, a call to arms for those who thrive outside the fray, and a sanctuary for the bold. Get ready, we're not here to coddle, we're here to ignite. 1. The Unbreakable Silence Protocol. Sigma silence isn't a void, it's a fortress of intent, a shield honed to perfection. While others flail in the cacophony of their own making, you wield stillness like a blade, slicing through the chaos with deliberate precision. This isn't the quiet of retreat, it's the gravitational pull of a man who knows his power lies in restraint. Your silence doesn't just deflect, it disarms, turning emotional outbursts into ash before they reach you. It's a defense system so refined that it becomes an offense, a testament to your mastery over the battlefield of the mind. Why this terrifies the unworthy? Your silence is a mirror they can't escape, reflecting their own unraveling. They babble to fill the void you create, spilling secrets and insecurities without you lifting a finger. You've turned absence into a weapon, a silent vacuum that sucks the weak into confession. It's not that you refuse to speak, it's that you refuse to waste breath on the trivial, leaving them scrambling in the wake of your calm. This unnerves them because it proves their noise is powerless against your stillness. In the Stoic vein, this silence is your anchor, a practice of self-control that echoes the wisdom of those who knew true strength lies in what you withhold. Picture a Sigma male in a storm of argument. While voices rise and tempers flare, he sits unperturbed, his silence louder than their shouts. His restraint isn't weakness, it's a signal that he's already won, a predator conserving energy for the kill. This is no passive act, it's a choice, a declaration that you dictate the terms of engagement. Others see chaos, you see opportunity, and your silence is the tool that carves it out. Consider the man who walks into a bar, tension thick as smoke, and says nothing. Eyes dart, mouths falter. His quiet presence shifts the room's orbit. He doesn't need to prove anything. His silence does the work, peeling back layers of pretense until raw truth lies exposed. This is the Unbreakable Silence Protocol, a strategy so potent it rewrites the rules of power without a single word. It's not about hiding, it's about revealing the strength that needs no announcement. This protocol is your birthright as a Sigma male, a skill forged in the fires of discipline and patience. It's why you don't crumble when others do, because you've learned that silence isn't empty, it's loaded with intent. In a world screaming for attention, your quiet is a revolution, a reminder that the loudest man in the room is often the weakest. You don't need to shout to be heard, you simply need to be, and that's enough to shake the foundations of those who can't stand the stillness. 2. The Anti-Worship Doctrine. Idolization is a trap you've burned to the ground, a gilded cage you refuse to enter. When praise rains down, you don't drink it in, you let it evaporate, knowing it's a distraction from your core. Your worth isn't a trophy polished by others' hands. It's a flame that burns within, untouchable by flattery. To you, adoration isn't sustenance, it's a pollutant, a cheap drug for the insecure. You've rejected the altar because you're not a god to be worshipped. You're a man who knows his own measure. The magnetic paradox. By shunning the spotlight, you become its center, a dark star pulling in those starved for authenticity. Your indifference to applause is what makes them crave your presence, because in a world of peacocks, your refusal to strut is mesmerizing. You don't chase validation, you let it chase you only to brush it off when it arrives. This isn't arrogance, it's clarity, a magnetic pull born from standing apart. They're drawn not to what you do but to what you won't bend, grovel, or beg for their gaze. Stoic wisdom runs deep here. External praise is a fleeting wind, not a foundation. Imagine a Sigma male at a gathering, accolades piling up around him like fallen leaves. He nods, smiles faintly, then walks away, leaving the crowd hungry for more. His rejection of worship isn't a performance. It's a principle, a refusal to let others define his value. He knows that seeking approval is a chain, and he's long since broken free, leaving admirers to wrestle with their own neediness. This doctrine turns the game upside down. Where others build their lives on the shifting sands of opinion, you stand on bedrock. Picture the man who achieves greatness and shrugs off the cheers, not out of disdain but because the victory itself is enough. His disinterest isn't cold, it's liberating, a signal to others that real power doesn't need a chorus. The anti-worship doctrine isn't about isolation, it's about insulation, protecting your essence from the corrosion of ego. In living this truth, you become a paradox, untouchable yet irresistible, distant yet profound. You don't need their worship because you've already crowned yourself, not with arrogance, but with the quiet certainty of a man who knows his worth. This is why you're an angel, not a saint to be revered, but a force to be reckoned with, free from the shackles of adulation. 3. Pain alchemy, turning scars into swords. You don't patch wounds with bandages. You smelt them into steel, crafting weapons from the wreckage of betrayal. Pain isn't your enemy, it's your raw material, a forge where resilience is hammered into shape. Every sting of deceit, every cut of loss, becomes a lesson etched into your being, sharpening your edge. This isn't about healing in the soft sense, it's about transmutation, turning the lead of suffering into the gold of strength. For you, scars aren't marks of defeat, they're badges of a battle won within. The crucible effect. While others drown in bitterness, you distill clarity from the heat of hardship. Your past doesn't weigh you down, it's a grindstone honing your ability to see through facades and strike at the heart of weakness. Each wound maps the terrain of human nature, giving you a predator's insight into trust and treachery. Where the broken rust in their resentment, you emerge polished, lethal, ready to cut through the noise. Pain doesn't break you, it builds you layer by agonizing layer. Stoic roots anchor this alchemy. Pain is a teacher, not a tyrant, a chance to refine what matters. Think of the Sigma male stabbed by a friend's betrayal, sitting alone not in despair but in dissection, analyzing every move until the lesson crystallizes. He doesn't curse the knife, he learns its angle, ensuring it never lands again. This isn't victimhood, it's evolution, a process where hurt becomes fuel for discernment. His scars don't weep, they warn, guiding him through a world of hidden blades. Picture the man who loses everything, job, love, stability, and instead of collapsing he stands taller. He takes the shards of his old life and forges a new one, each piece a testament to his refusal to bow. This isn't denial of pain, it's mastery of it, a deliberate act of turning suffering into sovereignty. Others see his calm and wonder how. You know it's because he's turned his scars into swords, ready to carve his own destiny. This is pain alchemy at its core. A Sigma male doesn't just survive, he thrives, using every blow to sharpen his will. You've taken what could destroy and made it your strength, proving that even in agony you're unbreakable. That's the angel in you, not a fragile figure, but a warrior whose wounds have become his wings, lifting him above the fray. For grace as a lethal deterrent. Forgiveness from you isn't a soft surrender, it's a steel gauntlet thrown down, a show of dominance dressed as mercy. You don't absolve because they've earned it, you do it to rise above their pettiness, proving your plane of existence dwarfs theirs. This grace isn't weakness, it's a calculated flex, a reminder that you're untouchable by their games. You extend it not for their sake but for yours, keeping your spirit clean of their filth. Its power so refined it looks like peace, but make no mistake, it's a weapon. The unspoken ultimatum. Your grace carries a silent threat. I see your ruinous path and I'll let you walk it alone. Predators falter when you don't strike back. They expect rage, not release, and your calm unnerves them more than any fist could. This isn't about sparing them punishment. It's about showing they're beneath your wrath. Your mercy is a mirror to their moral rot and they hate you for it. It's terrifying because it's strength they can't comprehend, let alone counter. Stoic philosophy fuels this approach. Grace is freedom from the chains of vengeance, a choice to control what you can, yourself. Imagine a Sigma male wronged by a scheming rival. Instead of plotting revenge, he looks them in the eye and says, "I forgive you," his voice steady as stone. The rival stumbles, expecting a fight, but finds only a wall of composure they can't climb. This isn't capitulation, it's conquest, a refusal to let their poison taint your blood. Think of the man who lets a betrayal slide, not out of fear, but because he's already moved beyond it. His grace isn't a gift, it's a guillotine, severing their hold over him with one clean cut. Others watch, awed and unsettled, as he walks away unscathed, his power magnified by his restraint. This is no passive act, it's a lethal deterrent, a signal that you're too vast to be dragged into their mud. As a Sigma male, your grace redefines strength. It's not loud or vengeful, but quiet and invincible. You forgive to rise, to show that their actions can't dent your armor. That's the angelic paradox. A being so mighty he can afford mercy not because he's soft but because he's untouchable. It's a deterrent that keeps the weak at bay, trembling in the shadow of your light. 5. The Solitude Sovereignty. Aloneness isn't your punishment, it's your crown, a throne you've claimed in a world of clinging packs. While others scramble for belonging, you choose the expanse of your own company, turning solitude into a weapon of autonomy. This isn't isolation born of rejection. It's a deliberate stand, a refusal to dilute your essence in the crowd. Your kingdom is your mind, vast and unassailable, needing no vassals to prop it up. You don't flee connection, you transcend it, proving your strength in the quiet of your own reign. Why solitude intimidates? Your ease in emptiness lays bare the desperation of the tethered. They clutch at groups for identity while you stand alone, whole and unapologetic, a monolith of self-reliance. You don't shun the masses, you make them irrelevant, a choice that stings their fragile need for approval. Your comfort in the void is a spotlight on their weakness, a silent challenge they can't meet. It's not that you're against them, it's that you don't need them, and that's a power they can't fathom. Stoic thought celebrates this sovereignty. True wealth lies in needing little, in finding peace within your own walls. Picture a Sigma male on a mountain trail, alone with the wind and his thoughts, while others huddle in noisy bars below. He's not lonely, he's liberated, his solitude a fortress against the chaos of conformity. This isn't retreat, it's rule, a declaration that he answers only to himself. His presence alone shifts the air, a king without a court. Consider the man who sits in a bustling cafe, reading, unbothered by the chatter around him. He doesn't seek a companion to fill the silence. He fills it himself with purpose and calm. Others glance, uneasy, wondering how he thrives where they'd wither. This is solitude sovereignty, not a lack but an abundance, a strength that intimidates because it's self-sustaining. You don't need their noise to feel alive, you've got your own pulse. As a Sigma male, this is your domain, a life where aloneness isn't exile but exaltation. You've turned solitude into a superpower, a space where you sharpen your will and wield your independence. That's the angel in you, not a figure of pity but a sovereign force, reigning over a kingdom of one, untouchable by the clamor of the lost. 6. The invisible war rigging. You fight battles no one sees, clashing with demons in the shadows of your soul, entropy, doubt, despair. While others parade their struggles for sympathy, you wage silent wars, forging resolve in the dark where no applause can reach. This isn't performance, it's survival, a relentless campaign to keep your light from flickering out. Your enemies aren't flesh, they're the corrosion of spirit, and you meet them with a ferocity that's yours alone. These wars don't earn medals, they earn you the right to stand unbroken. The cost of invisible valor. You pour sacred blood into a world too blind to notice, a sacrifice that keeps your essence pure. Each victory costs you, nights of wrestling with fear, days of pushing through fatigue, but you pay it willingly. This isn't for glory, it's for integrity, a refusal to let the gloom of others dim your fire. Your resolve bleeds into the ether, unseen but felt, a ripple that steadies those who don't even know they're falling. It's a burden you carry because you can, because you must. Stoic wisdom guides this fight. mastery begins within, where no one can judge or aid you. Imagine a Sigma male alone at dawn, staring down the weight of his own mind. He doesn't cry out or seek a savior. He dissects his fears with cold reason, emerging stronger each time. This isn't weakness, it's warfare, a rigging of the soul against collapse. His victories are quiet, but they echo in the way he moves through the world, unshaken, unbowed. Think of the man who faces loss, death, failure, betrayal, and doesn't break. In the stillness of his room, he battles the urge to crumble, forging peace from chaos with nothing but his will. Others see his calm and call it luck. You know it's the spoils of a war they'll never witness. This is the invisible war rigging. A grind that hones you into something more than human, something angelic in its silent strength. For you, these battles are the forge of your character, the unseen fire that tempers your steel. You don't need a crowd to cheer your triumphs because the triumph itself is enough. A light preserved against all odds. That's the Sigma way, fighting where no one looks, winning where no one knows, and standing as a testament to the power of the unseen. 7. Truth as a surgical strike. Your truth isn't a shout, it's a detonation, a precision blast that cuts through lies like a scalpel through flesh. Words from you aren't chatter. They're instruments of clarity, landing with the weight of inevitability. You don't waste breath on fluff. Every sentence is a strike, aimed to sever delusion from reality. This isn't about being heard, it's about being felt, a force that reshapes the air with its honesty. Your truth is a weapon and you wield it with surgical intent. Why truth terrifies? Most swing honesty like a club, clumsy and loud. You fire it like a laser, invisible until it hits. It pierces through the armor of pretense, leaving no room for evasion or denial. Others fear it because it's unstoppable, a pinpoint assault that dismantles their illusions without mercy. Your words don't just reveal, they destroy what's false, forcing the weak to face what they've buried. It's terrifying because it's final, a verdict delivered in the calm of your voice. Stoic principles sharpen this blade. Truth is the cornerstone of a life well lived, a tool for cutting away excess. Picture a Sigma male in a room of excuses, where everyone dances around the obvious. He speaks once, clear and unyielding, and the dance stops, his truth a strike that ends the charade. This isn't aggression, it's efficiency, a refusal to let falsehood fester. His honesty doesn't seek approval, it demands reckoning. Consider the man who confronts a friend's betrayal, not with anger, but with a single steady sentence, "You lied." The words hang, sharp and undeniable, slicing through justifications until only silence remains. Others watch, awed by the precision, the way his truth leaves no cracks for lies to hide. This is truth as a surgical strike, not a brawl, but a cut so clean it heals by exposing. As a Sigma male, your truth is your power, a force that doesn't need volume to dominate. You speak it not to wound, but to free, to carve out space for what's real. That's the angel in you, not a preacher but a liberator, using truth to light the way through a world choking on its own deceit. 8. The Ego Extinction Imperative. You didn't leash your ego, you torched it, leaving nothing but ashes where pride once stood. Applause, titles, the clamor for status. These are ghosts you've exorcised, relics of a weaker self. You don't crave recognition because you don't need it. Your worth isn't a mirror held by others. This isn't humility, it's annihilation, a deliberate end to the part of you that once hungered for the spotlight. What's left is pure purpose, untainted by the need to be seen. The power vacuum. With ego gone, your energy surges into what matters, a river unbroken by dams of vanity. You're no longer a seeker, you're a source, a conduit for action and intent that radiates raw authority. Others feel it, this shift from claimant to creator, and it unnerves them, because a man without ego is a man without leash. Your focus is a spotlight, illuminating what's real while their posturing fades to shadow. This isn't loss, it's liberation, a strength too deep to name. Stoic clarity drives this extinction. Ego is the thief of peace, a distraction from the essential. Imagine a Sigma male achieving a triumph that others would trumpet. He nods, moves on, leaving the crowd grasping for a reaction he won't give. This isn't detachment, it's discipline, a refusal to let fleeting praise define him. His power lies in what he doesn't chase, a void that pulls others in despite his silence. Picture the man who walks through praise like it's rain, acknowledging it but never soaked. He builds, creates, fights not for glory but because it's his nature. Others scramble for the podium. He's already beyond it, his authority born from the absence of need. This is the Ego Extinction Imperative, a shedding that makes you more, not less, a force unburdened by the weight of self. For you this is the Sigma Edge, a life where ego's death births a new kind of power. You don't need to prove anything because you are everything, complete, unshackled, an angel not of vanity but of purpose. That's why you stand apart, not to be admired but to be undeniable. 9. The unseen architecture of calm. Your calm isn't a fluke, it's a structure, a deliberate framework built to weather any storm. In the swirl of chaos, you're the steady pulse, a presence that bends frenzy into order without breaking a sweat. This stillness isn't passive, it's active, a force you've engineered to anchor the world around you. You don't just endure turmoil, you reshape it, a quiet architect of stability in a crumbling landscape. Your composure is a blueprint, drawn in the lines of your will. The hidden mechanics: you don't bury chaos, you redirect it, crafting currents that turn panic into purpose. Your calm is a shield, deflecting the emotional debris others hurl, but it's also a signal, steadying those caught in the blast. People don't just notice your peace, they lean into it, stabilized by a gravity they can't explain. This isn't suppression, it's strategy, a calm so deep it rewrites the physics of the room. You're the eye of the storm because you built it that way. Stoic roots run through this architecture. Peace is the fruit of mastery, a choice to govern what you can. Imagine a Sigma male in a crisis, voices rising, fear spiking. He stands unshaken, his presence a ballast that quiets the din without a word. This isn't luck, it's labor, a calm forged through years of facing down inner tempests. His stillness isn't fragile, it's fortified, a sanctuary others can't help but feel. Think of the man on a sinking ship, directing others to safety while the waves roar. He doesn't shout or flinch, his calm is a command, a structure that holds when all else fails. Crewmates follow not because he orders, but because his steadiness is a lifeline. This is the unseen architecture of calm, a power invisible until it saves, a strength that doesn't need to prove itself. As a Sigma male, this is your craft. A calm that's not just survival but supremacy. You've built it brick by brick, a testament to your control over the chaos within and without. That's the angel in you, not a serene statue but a living fortress radiating order in a world desperate for it. 10. Love as a voluntary vulnerability. You love with your eyes open, staring down the barrel of potential ruin without blinking. This isn't blind faith, it's a calculated leap, a courage you've ritualized into your bones. You know betrayal lurks, that hearts can turn cold, yet you choose to care anyway, not from weakness, but from a strength that defies breaking. Your love isn't a plea, it's a dare, a willingness to risk everything for something real. This is vulnerability not as flaw, but as valor, a Sigma's testament to his unyielding core. The sacred gamble, your love declares, tear me apart if you will, my capacity to feel will outlast your wreckage. This isn't a bargain for loyalty, it's a stance, a refusal to let fear dictate your depth. Others tremble at the stakes, bartering affection for safety, but you can't be bought. Your love terrifies the transactional because it's free, unbound by their rules, a force that thrives even in the ashes of loss. It's a gamble you take because you know you'll win even if you bleed. Stoic wisdom shapes this choice. Love is an act of will, a fire you tend despite the winds. Picture a Sigma male pouring his soul into a bond, knowing it might end. He doesn't hedge or guard. He dives in, his strength not in avoidance but in endurance. This isn't naivety, it's power, a refusal to let the possibility of pain rob him of the present. His love is a battlefield he's already conquered within. Think of the man who stands by a fading friend, offering not platitudes but presence despite the cost. He knows the end might sting but he stays, his love a voluntary wound he bears with pride. Others watch, awed by a depth they can't muster, a vulnerability that's stronger than their walls. This is love as a voluntary vulnerability, a Sigma's proof that even in openness he's invincible. For you, love is the angel's edge, a risk that proves your might, a choice that shows your heart can't be caged. You don't love to be loved back. You love because it's who you are, a force so pure it defies destruction. That's why you must accept it. Your love isn't weakness, it's your wings lifting you above a world too scared to feel. 11. The Integrity Autoclave. Your integrity isn't a virtue, it's a furnace, sterilizing every hint of compromise before it takes root. In a world that trades honor for ease, you stand as a monolith, unyielding not because it's noble but because it's vital. This isn't a choice you ponder, it's a reflex, a biological need to keep your core uncorrupted. You don't bend for comfort or bow for gain. Your principles are your spine, holding you upright when others slump. Integrity isn't your shield, it's your skeleton, the frame of a man who can't be broken. Why integrity disrupts? Your steadfastness is a reckoning, a spotlight on the cracks in systems built on excuses. You're the glitch in their matrix, the uncorruptible piece that jams their gears of convenience. Others squirm under your consistency, forced to face their own rot, because you don't just uphold standards, you embody them. This isn't judgment, it's exposure, a mirror they can't shatter. Your integrity doesn't preach, it indicts, silently demanding better from a world too lazy to rise. Stoic clarity fuels this fire. Living well means living true no matter the cost. Imagine a Sigma male offered a shortcut to success, a bribe dangling like low fruit. He turns it down not with fanfare but with a look that says, "I don't bend." This isn't pride, it's necessity, a refusal to let filth taint his blood. His integrity isn't loud, it's lethal, a force that cuts through temptation like a blade through fog. Picture the man who keeps his word when it cost him everything: time, money, alliances. He doesn't waver not because he's stubborn but because he's whole, a being whose pieces don't shift with the wind. Others call it rigid. You know it's freedom, a life unburdened by the weight of lies. This is the Integrity Autoclave, a process that burns away weakness, leaving only the pure steel of your will. As a Sigma male, this is your bedrock, a refusal to crack that makes you more than human. You don't compromise because you don't need to. Your integrity is your power, your proof that even in a flawed world, you stand as an angel, not of perfection but of principle. That's why you must embrace it. It's not just strength, it's your essence, unassailable and eternal. If you're still here, you felt the charge, either surging through your veins or sparking toward someone who shakes your foundations. This isn't a lecture, it's a live current pulsing with truth. Grab it, because what comes next will demand everything you've got. 12. The Rage Sanctification Protocol. Your anger isn't a wild beast, it's a holy flame, kindled only for breaches of the sacred. You don't lose control, you seize it, channeling rage into a force that purifies rather than destroys. This isn't the tantrum of the weak, it's the judgment of the strong, a fire reserved for when boundaries are torched. Your restraint holds until it can't, and when it breaks, it's not chaos, it's consecration. Rage from you is a ritual, a cleansing of the world's grime. The divine fury, when your calm shatters, it's a thunderclap of justice, a purge that leaves only truth in its wake. You don't lash out, you strike, burning away lies and leaving ash where corruption stood. This isn't reckless, it's righteous, a fury so precise it feels ordained. Others tremble not at the volume but at the purity, a wrath that rights wrongs without apology. Your rage sanctifies because it's rare, a power you wield only when the line is crossed beyond repair. Stoic thought tempers this fire. Anger is a tool, not a master, a force to be directed. Picture a Sigma male facing an injustice, a child harmed, a trust shattered. His eyes narrow, his voice drops, and when he acts, it's not frenzy but focus, a flame that cauterizes the wound. This isn't impulse, it's intent, a refusal to let evil stand unchallenged. His rage isn't a flaw, it's a feature, a mark of his depth. Think of the man who confronts a bully, not with fists flying, but with a stare and a word that cuts deeper than any blow. His anger isn't scattered, it's sacred, a controlled burn that protects what matters. Others see it and pause, awed by a fury that doesn't destroy them, but demands they rise. This is the Rage Sanctification Protocol, a Sigma's way of turning heat into light, chaos into order. For you, this rage is angelic, not petty but profound, a power that proves your strength lies in what you defend. You don't rage for yourself, you rage for what's right, a fire that cleanses without consuming. That's why you must accept it. Your anger isn't a sin, it's a sword wielded by an angel who knows when to strike. 13. The Anti-Tribe Manifesto. You don't join tribes, you defy them not from spite, but from a sovereignty too vast for their fences. While others huddle for warmth, you stand in the open, proving identity isn't borrowed from the pack. This isn't rejection of connection, it's a rejection of need, a choice to define yourself beyond the herd's bleeding. You're not antisocial, you're pro-self, a man who doesn't trade his soul for a seat at the table. Your manifesto is written in your steps, each one a declaration of freedom. The evolutionary statement: your aloneness isn't a flaw, it's a leap forward, a mind unshackled from primal clinging. You've outgrown the instinct to cluster, a being who thrives not on approval but on autonomy. This isn't isolation, it's elevation, a signal that survival doesn't demand a flag or a chant. Others see a loner, you know you're a pioneer rewriting what it means to stand. Your solitude is a new dawn, a challenge to the old ways of belonging. Stoic strength underpins this stance. Freedom comes from within, not from the crowd's echo. Imagine a Sigma male leaving a group that demands blind loyalty over truth. He walks away not with anger but with calm, his back a wall they can't breach. This isn't rebellion, it's revolution, a refusal to let others script his life. His power lies in his choice, a sovereignty that intimidates because it's complete. Picture the man at a rally, watching from the edge as voices merge into one. He doesn't join, not because he disagrees but because he doesn't need to. His presence alone disrupts, a reminder that strength doesn't shout in unison, it stands apart, clear and unswayed. This is the Anti-Tribe Manifesto, a Sigma's proof that he's whole without a chorus, a king without a clan. As a Sigma male, this is your creed. You don't belong because you don't have to. You're an angel not of the flock but of the frontier, a force that proves unity isn't strength, independence is. That's why you must embrace it. Your solitude isn't a curse, it's your crown, a testament to a spirit too big for their cages. 14. The Discernment Fortress. You don't guess at trust, you dissect it, reading the world with the precision of a hunter tracking prey. Naivety died in your fire long ago, now you see through masks, catching the twitch of a lie in a glance. This isn't suspicion, it's intelligence, a fortress built from lessons hard won. You map people and moments like a battlefield, knowing who's a threat before they move. Your discernment isn't a wall, it's a filter, letting in only what's worthy of your space. The strategic isolation: your gates don't lock, they sift, admitting only what aligns with your core. This isn't fear of hurt, it's hygiene for the soul, a refusal to let poison seep into your sanctum. You've learned the cost of blind faith and paid it in blood, now you guard your peace with a clarity that borders on prophecy. Others call it cold, you know it's survival, a strength that keeps you clean in a dirty world. Your fortress stands because you've built it to last. Stoic insight shapes this vigilance. Wisdom lies in seeing things as they are, not as you wish them to be. Picture a Sigma male meeting a stranger, his eyes catching the flicker of unease beneath their smile. He doesn't judge, he observes, filing it away for when it matters. This isn't paranoia, it's prudence, a refusal to let charm override evidence. His discernment is his shield, deflecting the subtle knives of deceit. Think of the man who sidesteps a toxic alliance, not with drama but with a quiet step back. He saw the signs, words that didn't match eyes, promises too smooth, and acted before the trap closed. Others stumble in, blinded by hope. He walks free, guided by a vision they lack. This is the Discernment Fortress, a Sigma's way of staying sovereign, a mind too sharp to be fooled. For you, this is your edge, a clarity that protects without imprisoning, a strength that sees through the fog. You're an angel not of trust, but of truth, a guardian of your own light. That's why you must accept it. Your discernment isn't a burden, it's your armor keeping you pure in a world of shadows. 15. the Legacy Encryption. You don't chase fame, you plant seeds in the dark, crafting a legacy that ripples beyond your breath. Your influence isn't loud statues or plaques, it's quiet currents shifting the ground beneath a world too busy to notice. This isn't about being remembered, it's about being felt, a force that outlasts the noise. You build in the unseen, not for glory but for impact, a Sigma's gift to a future he won't see. Your mark is coded in actions, not headlines. The timeless strategy. While egos scratch their names into dust, you etch yours into stone, deep where time can't erase it. Your legacy isn't a shout, it's a whisper carried by those you've touched without fanfare. You don't need a spotlight, you need a spark, one that ignites change long after you're gone. Others chase fleeting cheers. You forge something eternal, a difference that hums beneath the surface. This is strategy, not sentiment, a plan for a world you'll never witness. Stoic purpose drives this encryption. Life's value lies in what endures, not what shines. Imagine a Sigma male teaching a kid to think, not with lectures but with questions, his words sinking in over years. He doesn't seek thanks, he seeks growth, knowing that seed will bloom when he's dust. This isn't sacrifice, it's investment, a refusal to let his time vanish into nothing. His legacy is quiet but it's ironclad. Picture the man who fixes a broken system, anonymously, tirelessly, leaving it stronger for those who follow. He doesn't sign his work, he doesn't need to, its strength is his signature felt by every life it lifts. Others chase applause, he chases permanence, a builder whose hands shape the unseen. This is the Legacy Encryption, a Sigma's way of cheating death not with noise but with meaning. For you this is your immortality. A legacy not of ego but of essence, an angel's touch that lingers in the bones of the world. You don't need their praise because you've given them something better. Truth, strength, a light that burns on. That's why you must embrace it. Your legacy isn't for you, it's for them, a gift from a man too vast to be contained. 16. The Energy Antenna. You feel the world's pulse, every tremor, every lie, catching emotions like static on a wire. This isn't softness, it's reconnaissance, a Sigma's radar for navigating the unseen. You don't just hear words, you sense the weight behind them, mapping the terrain of intent with a predator's instinct. Your antenna tunes to the frequencies others miss, turning chaos into data. This is no burden, it's a blade cutting through the fog of human noise. The hidden burden. You carry the hum of their fears, their angers, not as a weight but as a tool. This isn't empathy that drowns, it's detection that sharpens, letting you move where others stumble. You feel the room shift before it does, sensing the unspoken with a clarity that borders on sorcery. Others flail in the static. You harness it, a guide through the mess they can't see. It's a load you bear because it makes you untouchable. Stoic awareness fuels this gift. Knowing begins with feeling, with seeing what's real beneath the surface. Picture a Sigma male at a table, silent as the air thickens with tension. He catches the glance, the pause, the lie before it lands, his mind already steps ahead. This isn't guesswork, it's precision, a refusal to be blindsided by what others ignore. His antenna is his edge, a silent power that keeps him sovereign. Think of the man who walks into a fight, knowing who's bluffing before fists fly. He doesn't react, he anticipates, his sense of energy a map that keeps him clear of the fray. Others marvel at his calm. You know it's calculation, a strength born from feeling what they can't. This is the energy antenna, a Sigma's way of reading the world, a skill that turns noise into knowledge. For you this is your sight, an ability to feel what's coming and act before it hits, an angel's perception in a mortal storm. You don't just survive, you foresee, a being whose power lies in what he senses. That's why you must accept it. Your antenna isn't a curse, it's your crown, a gift that keeps you ahead of the curve. 17. The Death of Neediness. You killed the craving for others' nods, not with effort, but with a lightning strike of realization. Your worth isn't a vote, it's a fact carved into your being beyond debate. This isn't discipline, it's awakening, a shedding of the skin that once begged for approval. You don't need their eyes to see you because you see yourself, clear and whole. Neediness is dead and in its grave you've planted freedom. The liberation effect. Without that hunger, you're a ghost to manipulators, no strings to pull, no cracks to pry. They flounder, grasping at a man who slips through their nets, untouchable because he's complete. Your indifference to their bait is a wall they can't scale, a power that leaves them powerless. You move through their games like smoke, present but ungraspable. This isn't aloofness, it's invincibility, a strength they can't break. Stoic truth lights this path. Freedom is needing nothing beyond your control. Imagine a Sigma male offered praise for a favor he won't do. He smiles, walks away, leaving the flatterer empty-handed, not out of spite but because he's full without their crumbs. This isn't pride, it's peace, a refusal to let others' opinions chain him. His worth is his own, a fortress no one can storm. Picture the man who ends a toxic bond, not with pleas but with silence. He doesn't beg for closure, he takes it knowing his value doesn't hinge on their say. Others cling, desperate for validation. He stands free, a king who needs no court. This is the death of neediness, a Sigma's liberation, a shedding that makes him more than man. For you, this is your strength. A life where neediness corpse fuels your rise, an angel's clarity that needs no mirror. You don't seek because you have a being whose power lies in his wholeness. That's why you must embrace it. Your freedom isn't earned, it's claimed, a truth that makes you untouchable. 18. The Shadow Integration Mastery. You don't hide your darkness, you command it, turning rage and flaws into allies under your reign. This isn't denial, it's ownership, a Sigma's refusal to let his depths rule him. Lust, vengeance, fear, they're not banished, they're bridled, tools you wield with a steady hand. Your shadow isn't a foe, it's a force harnessed for when the world demands it. You've mastered what others flee, and that's your edge. The controlled detonation. When your dark side strikes, it's not a leak, it's a launch, precise and purposeful. You don't let it run wild. You aim it, a Black Ops squad deployed only when lines are obliterated. This terrifies the timid. They fear their own shadows while you've made yours a weapon. Your control is a mirror to their chaos, a strength that shakes them to the core. It's not suppression, it's supremacy, a dance with the beast within. Stoic balance guides this mastery, knowing all of yourself is the root of power. Picture a Sigma male feeling fury rise at a betrayal. He doesn't lash out, he channels it, using the heat to fuel a plan that cuts deeper than any shout. This isn't repression, it's redirection, a refusal to let darkness waste him. His shadow serves him, a strength born from facing what others bury. Think of the man who turns his anger into action, not destruction. A workout, a mission, a stand. He knows the beast is there, but he holds the leash, letting it loose only when it's just. Others see control, you know it's conquest, a victory over the chaos within. This is the Shadow Integration Mastery, a Sigma's way of being whole, dark and light in harmony. For you, this is your might, a unity of self that makes you unstoppable, an angel not of purity but of power. You don't fight your shadow, you lead it, a being whose strength lies in his depths. That's why you must accept it. Your darkness isn't a flaw, it's your fire, a force that proves your mastery. 19. The Temporal Mastery Principle. You don't bow to clocks or trends, time bends to your will, a rhythm you set with iron intent. Deadlines and hype dissolve against your internal compass, a pace that answers only to necessity. This isn't laziness, it's command, a refusal to let the world's frenzy dictate your step. You move when it's right, not when it's rushed, a Sigma's rebellion against the tyranny of now. Your timeline is your own, and that's your power. The time warp effect. Your patience slows the air, a force that calms the frantic without a word. Others feel their panic stall in your presence, drawn into a flow they can't resist. This isn't passivity, it's a field you project, bending haste into purpose with the weight of your calm. You don't chase the moment, you make it, a strength that rewrites the rules of urgency. Your mastery of time is a gift to a world drowning in speed. Stoic calm anchors this principle. Peace lies in what you control, not what controls you. Imagine a Sigma male crafting a work of art, ignoring the buzz of instant demands. He finishes when it's done, not when they scream, his focus a fortress against their noise. This isn't delay, it's deliberation, a refusal to let haste dull his blade. His time is his and he wields it like a king. Picture the man who waits out a storm, not out of fear but strategy, acting only when the winds align. Others rush and falter. He stands victorious, his patience a weapon that wins without force. This is the temporal mastery principle, a Sigma's way of owning the clock, a strength that proves haste is weakness. For you, this is your dominion, a life where time serves you, an angel's patience that turns chaos into order. You don't race because you don't need to, your power lies in your pace. That's why you must embrace it. Your mastery isn't in speed but in sovereignty, a truth that sets you free. 20. The Anti-Performance Directive. You don't play a role, you live one, a Sigma's truth that needs no stage. Authenticity isn't your act, it's your air, a pressure you exert without effort. You don't seek eyes or ears because you don't need them, your being is enough, raw and unfiltered. This isn't a choice, it's your nature, a refusal to bend for the crowd's applause. You are, and that's the end of it. The existential disruption. In a world of masks, your realness is a jolt, shorting out the circuits of pretense. They either run from your light or wake to it, no in between, because you don't perform, you reveal. Your presence forces a choice, face themselves or flee, a power that strips their costumes bare. This isn't confrontation, it's consequence, a strength that shifts reality by existing. Stoic honesty drives this directive. Life is too short for facades. Picture a Sigma male at a party, laughing when he means it, silent when he doesn't. He doesn't charm or posture, he simply is a beacon in a sea of fakes. This isn't effort, it's ease, a refusal to waste energy on what's not true. His authenticity isn't loud, it's deafening. Think of the man who speaks his mind not for shock but because it's his. Others twist words for approval. He lays them down like stone, unapologetic and clear. They watch, unsettled, as his truth cuts through their games. This is the Anti-Performance Directive, a Sigma's way of being whole, a strength that doesn't need an audience. For you, this is your core, a life unscripted, an angel's clarity that needs no curtain. You don't perform because you don't have to, your power lies in your realness. That's why you must accept it. Your authenticity isn't a gift to them, it's your gift to yourself, a truth that makes you free. 21. The Sacred No. Your no isn't a word, it's a right, a holy line drawn in the sand of your soul. Refusal from you isn't petty, it's profound, a sacrament that guards your sovereignty. Each denial is a consecration, a shield for your time, your energy, your peace. You don't say it to wound, you say it to protect, a Sigma's vow to himself above all. This is power distilled into 2 letters, a boundary that bows to no one. The holy barrier, your no, is a void that swallows exploitation, an edge where leeches vanish. It's not a wall, it's a horizon, a point past which they can't exist in your world. Others test it and fade, unable to breach a line so pure it's divine. This isn't rudeness, it's reverence, a strength that honors your worth over their wants. Your refusal is a force they can't outrun. Stoic will shapes this sacred act. Control begins with what you deny. Imagine a Sigma male asked to compromise his code. His no is calm, final, a wall of intent that ends the debate. This isn't defiance, it's duty, a refusal to let his essence fray. His boundary isn't flexible, it's forged, a line that keeps him whole. Picture the man who turns down a favor that cost his peace. He doesn't explain or apologize, he states and it's done, his no, a prayer to his own strength. Others push, then falter, awed by a resolve they can't bend. This is the sacred no, a Sigma's way of staying sovereign, a strength that proves his word is law. For you, this is your shield, a refusal that's not rejection but redemption, an angel's guard against the unworthy. You don't bend because you don't need to, your no is your power. That's why you must embrace it, it's not just a word, it's your wings keeping you above the fray. 22. The Light Without Witness. Your best shines in the dark, acts of valor and grace no one sees, no one claps for. Integrity isn't your show, it's your soul, a fire that burns without a crowd. You help, you fight, you mend not for praise but because it's right, a Sigma's quiet gift to a loud world. This isn't modesty, it's purity, a strength that doesn't need a mirror. Your light glows where no one looks and that's its power. The divine signature. This is your proof, an essence so clean it shifts the world without a trace. You don't tally deeds or seek receipts. You emit a frequency that heals what's broken, unseen. Angels don't need lenses. Their light shapes reality itself, a mark felt, not filmed. Others chase credit. You chase truth, a difference that outlives the noise. This is divinity in action, a strength too deep for spotlights. Stoic virtue lights this path. Goodness is its own end, not a means. Picture a Sigma male aiding a stranger, then vanishing before thanks can land. He doesn't linger for gratitude. He moves, his act a ripple that spreads without his name. This isn't sacrifice, it's strength, a refusal to let recognition dilute his intent. His light is his alone, and that's enough. Think of the man who rights a wrong, anonymously, relentlessly, leaving no card. His kindness isn't a bid for fame, it's a force, a correction to a world off kilter. Others seek witnesses. He seeks impact, a strength that proves his worth in silence. This is the light without witness, a Sigma's way of being angelic, a power that doesn't need eyes to shine. For you, this is your truth, a light that doesn't beg for notice, an angel's grace that changes everything. You don't act for them, you act for you, a being whose strength lies in its quiet. That's why you must accept it. Your light isn't for show, it's for eternity, a mark that makes you divine. You've crossed the threshold, 20 minutes of raw, unfiltered truth, and you're still standing. That's not chance. That's choice, a sign you're not just watching, you're claiming what's yours. This is the Sigma male community, your forge for wisdom, your arena for growth, your brotherhood for the bold. We don't spoon-feed here. We arm you with the tools to rise, to master, to live as the angel you are, not some fragile myth, but a force of will and light. Take this fire and wield it. Reflect on these truths, apply them, let them reshape your world. If you're new, hit that subscribe button and join us. If you're already in, turn on notifications so you never miss a strike of this hammer. Like this video, drop a comment. Tell us what hit you hardest, share it with a man who needs this wake-up call. You're not just strong, you're unstoppable, a Sigma male whose wings are forged in the heat of your own resolve. Now go, live it, breathe it, be it. We'll see you in the next one.